Now, if this winter seems to be dragging on too long, some ways to keep it from dragging down your spirits with it. And Madison community members are talking about what's next after a teacher is accused of ripping out a girl's braids at Whitehorse Middle School. Plus, R&B singer R. Kelly posts bond of $1 million after facing sexual abuse charges in front of a Chicago judge.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
We had freezing rain this morning, rain just right now, and now snow on the way as well. Let's get a look at your first alert weather with Dave Caulfield. You've got a lot to look at.
Yeah, everything basically in the span of one day. If you could dream it, the atmosphere could do it today. And we've even had some thunderstorms this evening, which is part of the reason why I'm inside right now. Lightning in the area. The thunderstorm activity is winding down, but we still do have some moderate rain across portions of southern and southeastern Wisconsin. Farther to the north and west, freezing rain and heavy snow falling closer to La Crosse and Viroqua. In Madison, on the WISC TV Skycam, we're looking at foggy conditions, also some moderate rain nearby, 34 degrees right now with rain being reported at the airport. East wind at 8 miles per hour, making it feel like 27. It feels like 27 and rain. That is some nasty conditions outside. So temperatures are in the mid-30s for many of us. Farther to the north and west, temperatures are right near that freezing mark, which is why we're seeing the freezing rain and snow. We do have a dense fog advisory into early tomorrow morning. Visibility of about 1 1/4 mile reported in Monroe, so we may encounter some dense fog overnight. Wind speeds are not too bad right now out of the east at about 8 miles per hour in Madison, but the wind will be a major story tomorrow. Some rain changing to some light snow early tomorrow, then partly sunny and very windy. We'll talk about how high those winds could gust into Sunday and a cold start to Monday in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Dave. There was some minor street flooding reported in the area this morning due to melting ice and rain. Highway and city crews were out clearing drainage ditches and storm drains, but it was nothing like the people in the Tennessee area are facing. Heavy rain and flooding closed many roads in the Knoxville area. Many parts of the South have seen almost nonstop rain for several days now. There's more rain in their forecast. In Kansas, the problem is blizzard conditions that are crippling towns and creating hazardous travel snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour, and strong winds are creating whiteout conditions. Interstate I-70 was closed near Hays, Kansas, after multiple crashes blocked the roadway. The weather has kept many of us inside these last few weeks. Now Wisconsinites are trying their best to beat the winter blues. Adam Duxer shows us how many are trying to beat cabin fever.
Well, with the weather being the way it's been, it's got plenty of us wanting to get out of the house. Today we took a trip up to the Dells to see how people are beating cabin fever.
It's everything you'd expect at an outdoor theme park.
We have a challenging ropes course, a little mini ropes course for our youngest guests, indoor Ferris wheel, laser tag, bowling.
Except the whole being outdoors thing.
This is a 100,000 square foot indoor adventure park.
People here at Tomfooleries, part of the Kalahari Parks in the Dells, know that this time of year can be difficult.
This winter has been especially tough for families in the Midwest. Everyone's looking to get outside of their house and kind of escape.
Down the road at the Wilderness Resort, COO Joe Eck knows how important this time of year is for his customers.
This is when we really feel the cabin fever here. I mean, people have been cooped up, they get lethargic.
In what's good business for some is a getaway for others.
We really very much so got winter within like this month. I mean, we've had freezing rain, snow, like sub -50 weather. And it's really nice being able to kind of to escape to a place where it doesn't feel like winter.
The group we caught up with today say it's like having a slice of the tropics in the middle of Wisconsin in the middle of winter.
Having this type of place nearby within driving distance is really nice. It kind of feels like a little bit of summer in the dead of winter.
And Joe says the worse the weather is outside, the better things are inside.
For us, snowstorms in really cold weather in the winter actually help our business because this is that chance for everybody to get out of that.
A Saturday out of the snow, even if it's just for a moment, whether it's the pool or the arcade.
And you can't forget about doing the high ropes course, the most perfect way to beat cabin fever.
Adam Duxter, News 3 Now.
A recent alleged incident at a Madison middle school is prompting Black community members and parents to push for change. A discussion at the Boys and Girls Club today drew more than 100 people. It follows accusations from an 11-year-old girl that a positive behavior support coach pushed her and ripped out her braids. Today's meeting was closed to media in hopes parents could speak freely about their experiences having their children mistreated at school.
Heartbreaking to hear the emotion of some of the parents, but I also was thankful to see there was a bunch of teachers.
The Progress Center for Black Women is compiling suggestions from the meeting and will make them public. Video of the alleged incident at Whitehorse Middle School has not been made public yet. R&B star R. Kelly appeared in a Cook County court today charged with 10 counts of sex abuse involving 4 victims. Kelly was arrested last night after turning himself in to Chicago authorities. According to court documents, 3 of the alleged victims were between 13 and 16 years old at the time of the abuse. For years, Kelly denied allegations of abusing young girls, but a lawyer for 2 of the alleged victims, Michael Avenatti, says there's videotape evidence.
There is also a scene on the tape during which Mr. Kelly engages in choking the 14-year-old victim, as well as other simulated sexual acts.
We haven't seen anything, any reason to believe that these allegations are credible.
Kelly posted the $1 million bond set by the judge and has been released. He's due back in court on Monday. If convicted, Kelly faces 70 years behind bars. Vice President Mike Pence is heading to Venezuela as political and civil turmoil escalates in that country. Thousands of supporters of the embattled Venezuelan president Nicolas Maduro flooded the streets of Venezuela's capital in rival demonstrations as opposition leaders vow to move shipments of humanitarian aid into the country. Maduro denies any crisis in his country and has refused any international help. Opposition leader Juan Guaido, recognized as Venezuela's legitimate leader by dozens of countries, says he will meet with Pence in the capital of neighboring Colombia. Special counsel Robert Mueller's office has filed its sentencing memo in one of 2 criminal cases against former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. It says Manafort committed crimes that cut the the heart of the criminal justice system. It also says that over the years, Manafort deceived everyone from bookkeepers and banks to federal prosecutors and members of the executive branch of the United States government. In the memo, prosecutors do not yet take a position on how much time Manafort should serve. 3 people died when a big cargo jetliner crashed into a bay east of Houston. The Boeing 767 disintegrated when it crashed. The sheriff told reporters there that witnesses saw the twin-engine plane strike Trinity Bay nose first and that they heard the plane's engine surging. He says a debris field extends for about 3/4 of a mile in the muddy marshland that's about 5 feet deep in the area. Law enforcement engaged in a 45-minute standoff on I-90 near Sparta early this morning. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says dispatch received information about a stolen vehicle from Marquette County in the early morning. A deputy saw the vehicle on I-90 and was able to stop it. After the stop, the driver fired a single shot. After a 45-minute standoff, the driver was taken into custody. A University of Wisconsin-Madison fraternity is on suspension after being found Friday to have violated university rules against hazing of new members. The Alpha Sigma Phi chapter was suspended for pressuring members into wearing Dora the Explorer backpacks and carrying fruit around campus during the fall 2018 semester. The Committee on Student Organizations found the chapter to be in violation of the university's Student Organization Code of Conduct, suspending it from all university activities through March 24th. Edgewood High School is moving forward with plans to install lights and a sound system in its athletic complex. In a letter sent to families, the Edgewood Board of Trustees said they approved moving forward with formal applications for permits allowing LED outdoor lighting and an upgraded amplified sound system. The school has tabled improvements that were initially proposed, such as increasing seating capability and a ticket booth and a concession stand. Many residents of the neighborhood have voiced their disapproval of the stadium improvements throughout the proposal process. Since 2012, Good Shepherd Lutheran Church, along with the Madison community, have packed over 600,000 meals for kids and families in the neediest areas of the world. This week, the group added to that number. More than 1,500 people packed the Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Verona as part of Feed My Starving Children. That nonprofit has been providing nutritionally complete meals for malnourished children for more than 3 decades. Volunteers of all ages hand-pack these meals on site, and the meals are then donated to food partners around the world.
Last year we packed about 125,000 meals at this same event, and this year we set our goal to pack 272,000 meals. And we're definitely on pace for that, and I think we will meet our commitment as well as probably exceed it by a little bit.
Organizers were worried that the weather would keep people away, but luckily that was not the case today. There's more to come on News 3 Now at 10. Up next, two brothers from Green Bay are returning to Vietnam decades after fighting a war there. We'll share their story when we come back. North Korean state media has confirmed that leader Kim Jong-un is on a train to Vietnam for his second summit with U.S. President Donald Trump. The Vietnamese foreign minister officially inaugurated the International Media Center this morning in Hanoi. He said Vietnam is ready and proud to host the summit due to take place starting on Wednesday. Now, that country was the site of one of the most divisive wars in the country's history. Over 58,000 Americans were killed in the Vietnam War. The impact it left on those alive today still sticks with them. Now, 52 local veterans are returning to Vietnam this weekend to hopefully heal some of the wounds they suffered both physically and mentally. Nate Stewart has their story.
It's going to be a thrill of a lifetime.
And after decades,
we're ready to go back. We want to go back.
Back to the battlefield.
It's been a long time. It's been 50 years. Times change.
And for brothers Tom and Dale Van Lanen,
or we got the Vietnamese people working out in the field.
They're joining 50 other veterans.
We are doing a whirlwind tour, essentially, this 14-day trip.
For the first ever Old Glory Honor Flight to Vietnam.
I thought I would like to go over there and see what the country looks like now.
Tom enlisted in the Marine Corps and was sent over in 1968 for 13 months as a radio operator in the infantry.
We would go out on operations for, like, say, 3 to 7 days roughly, come back into a base camp, rest up for about a week or so, and then go back out again.
Dale, also an infantryman with the Marines, spent 6 months in Vietnam, and as soon as Tom got back, he was sent over.
So I saw him once in California, and then he went home, and I was going over.
The fact that we as a country and as a community can come together to support a mission like this says a lot.
Scott Delsart is a board member for Old Glory Honor Flight and an Army veteran himself. He says the idea of the trip came about in 2012 after an honor flight to Pearl Harbor.
A lot of veterans were asking, hey, are you ever going to return to Vietnam like you did to Pearl Harbor?
The 2-week trip will cover all expenses for the vets.
It's about seeing the country, too, and seeing how the country has changed.
And emotions are expected to run high.
I'm looking forward to going back, but I'm excited, but I'm nervous, too.
Tom says he can't wait for his return back to Wisconsin to see all the people show up in support.
It'll be quite an experience with all these people there to greet us. They're all cheering and yelling and yeah. It'll be quite an experience.
And for Dale, having some closure with the former enemy will put him at ease.
To look him straight in the eye and shake hands and hug and say, you know, I'm sorry for what happened. That's going to be hard for me. I guess a lot of it is just peace of mind, just knowing that, you know, you went back and you poured out your feelings to these people.
The brothers are excited to be going together, but also excited to be with the other vets.
He's a heck of a brother. But all 52 veterans that are going, we are all brothers.
The veterans leave on Sunday for their trip and return on Saturday, March 9th. The public is encouraged to attend a welcome home for at the Menasha High School. That is on the 9th, and many are welcome when they come back. Although Madison's temperatures aren't exactly Arctic today, polar bears are being celebrated. The International Polar Bear Day celebration at Henry Vilas Zoo focused on what you can do to help polar bears out in the wild. Visitors could make a thumbprint pledge by pressing their thumbs against the glass of the polar bear enclosure and promising to do something to help out the Arctic bears, which can be as simple as using less energy. Since polar bears don't hibernate, both Nunick and Barrett, the zoo's resident polar bears, were basking in the extra attention today. I'm sure they might enjoy some of the weather that we're getting. I know we might not enjoy it, but they do.
Yeah, some of it, I think, Amanda. It was basically a zoo outside across southern Wisconsin today because of all the different types of precipitation that we've seen. We saw mixed precipitation this morning, then dense fog, then heavy rain, thunderstorms, also some areas of sleet and heavy snow to the north and west. We have really had it all. You've heard the expression, well, you can't have it all. Well, Mother Nature says, let me show you. Let me show you what I'm capable of. We still do have some moderate rain showers showing up across portions of southern Wisconsin. Farther to the north and west, kind of just a mess of all different types of precipitation. Mixed precipitation closer to the Dells and Camp Douglas, and then heavy snow making its way into La Crosse and Viroqua right now. We'll see any rain change over to snow overnight before the wind becomes the main headline across southern Wisconsin. In no particular order, a dense fog advisory, a flood advisory, a high wind warning, a winter weather advisory, winter storm warnings, and blizzard warnings, all on the same map. I'm not kidding, folks. We have really experienced everything. Now, the wind is going to be the main story tomorrow after some light snow makes its way out of southern Wisconsin early tomorrow morning. We could see gusts of about 40 to 50, even possibly 60 miles per hour at times across the area. Temperatures are just above freezing, helping us get rain in southern Wisconsin, but a little bit closer to the freezing mark in the Dells, Camp Douglas, and Wautoma. Visibility is a little bit better in spots, but still that dense fog advisory goes until early tomorrow morning, so we could see some foggy spots. Now, the wind not that bad right now, but we're expecting the wind to really pick up once this low pressure system, which is still off to the south and west, crosses over southern Wisconsin. On the backside of that low is when the wind is really going to start to pick up. So in Platteville and our Queen Bee Radio Skycam, we have some areas of fog, some light rain falling. In Madison, a similar story on the Edgewater Skycam. So on Future Track, we're noticing some light snow possible early tomorrow morning. It really won't be around for all that long. Check the time here, about 9 to 9:30. That snow already out of much of southern Wisconsin. Then, as I mentioned, we get partly sunny skies and the wind gets to center stage, if you will. As we head into early Monday, we are very cold to start off the day with temperatures below zero and wind chills of -10 to -25, and we stay pretty chilly on Monday. Still a chance for a couple more tenths of an inch of rain tonight in some spots and a couple tenths of an inch of snow as well as we start off Sunday, but that snow really shouldn't be a big deal for many of us. Now that changes as you head to the north and west. What doesn't really change is the wind gust potential of about 40 to 50 miles per hour at times for tomorrow, and we are starting off wind chills feeling like -25 in some spots for Monday morning across southern Wisconsin. There's just so much to pay attention to. We calm down a little bit as we head into the 7 to 10 day forecast, but then temperatures are staying pretty chilly. There are a couple more chances for some light snow, but hopefully nothing like what we've experienced this weekend because we have been through the ringer.
Yeah. And that's a lot
for
you to say,
yes.
too. All right, thank you, Dave. Badgers squeaking by tonight. We'll have highlights and post-game interviews from Northwestern coming up next in sports.
Well, just 5 games left in the regular season for Wisconsin, so this is where the Badgers really need to finish strong, especially when it comes to road wins. The Badgers at Northwestern tonight. The Wildcats have not won a game in more than a month. Greg Gard and the guys, meanwhile, they've won their last 7 of 9. First half action here. Ethan Happ getting double teamed a lot tonight, so not a lot of points to start, but playing some defense there. Blocked to force the turnover. Then again, another block. Brad Davison this time up to Khalil Iverson. You know what's coming. Put this on your highlight reel. Badgers down 1. Later, Dimitri Trice pulling up for 3. He had 3 of them alone in the first half, led the team with 11 at halftime. Brad Davison working from beyond the arc tonight, too, knocks down 3 as well. Happ picking up the pace in the second half offensively. The tough layup there. Badgers hang on to win by 5, and afterwards, head coach Greg Gard knows that they've got to keep getting better because these games are just going to get tougher here on out.
Well, you have to make tough shots. You know, in this league, it comes down for a possession game. We've been in so many games where it's been the last 2 or 3 minutes, and you have to make those shots. And we've had a few go against us. We've made more than what's happened against us. So you take them when you get them, but there's so many other things we have to continue to get better at that we don't have to be in this situation coming down the stretch.
So 69-62, the final score tonight in Evanston. Brad Davison leading the way with 16 points. Ethan Happ with a double-double, 14 points, 10 rebounds. Next up, the Badgers at Indiana on Tuesday night. It's the best weekend at the Kohl Center if you're a high school wrestler or a fan of them. The WIAA State Individual Wrestling Championships this weekend, and we've got a few guys from our area looking to defend their state titles. But first, of course, the traditional Walk of Champions, also always a special honor for these athletes. First in the 106 weight class, Nicolar Rivera of Stoughton wins his match with a 15-2 major decision to remain undefeated at 55-0. And with this win, Stoughton now has 50 individual state titles. More wins for the Vikings at 138 pounds. Hunter Lewis was down 5-2, comes back to win 8-7. It's the second individual state title for the senior. He beat Daniel Stilling from Elkhorn. In the 182 weight class, Shane Legal from River Valley claiming his 3rd individual wrestling state title to end his senior season at 46-0. The WIAA State Boys Hockey Tournament will be here in Madison starting Thursday at the Alliant Energy Center. But first, the sectional finals tonight. Top 2 seeds, Sun Prairie and Verona at Hartmeyer Ice Arena, and Wildcats, well, they came out firing. Mac Kurlock flinging one into the back of the net here, 1-0 Verona. But the Cardinals would answer. Kyle Hagerman lighting the lamp with 2 minutes left in the first period, and we've got a tie game. In the second period, Walker Hasig gets the deflection, turns around, shoots, and scores. Verona up 3-1 in the second, and some more insurance for the Wildcats. This time, Ryan Ritter with the shot right through the goalie's glove. Verona beats Sun Prairie 5-3 the final. They're heading to state next weekend. Opponent TBD.
We're all hard workers. I mean, there's never not a time where we're down there working as hard as we possibly can because we know that's the way we're going to win hockey games. Just the fact that I'm able to now understand what it's like and go into the game knowing exactly what we need to do and how we can do it to be able to be successful throughout the tournament.
I mean, everybody has their own personality. We have kids that are loud, some kids that are quiet, but we all gel together and work as a team, and it's been awesome. We love each other.
A lot of love for the Badger men's hockey team tonight, too, after losing 8-2 last night at Penn State. Wisconsin coming back in a big way. They beat the Nittany Lions 7-3. Last regular season series next weekend at the Kohl Center. Wisconsin will host Michigan. We'll be right back.
Rain changes to snow overnight across southern Wisconsin. Some very minor accumulations are possible. Then the big story tomorrow is the high wind values that we will see. Gusts of about 40 to 50, even 60 miles per hour possible as temperatures fall through the 20s and teens, starting off very cold on Monday.
All right, thanks for joining us. Have a great night.